Yes, good afternoon and welcome. We're going to be having a great conversation here this afternoon for about 20 minutes and about the great resignation and what it means to you and what's the impact for you and sharing some insights around career selection, but first around knowing your calling, knowing your purpose, and so on. So we're looking forward to giving you some value, some things that you can think about and process to make some best decisions, depending upon where you might be at in terms of your career. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, perhaps you're an employee, and so on. And you could be in a variety of places, I'm sure, in terms of where you might be at. And so we will engage with you, and you can engage in the chat as well there, please. And that would be great. Do have some key insights that would like to share with you. And yes, so I'm just going to just pause here for a moment. But this is live. Gary Gradley, the Purpose Coach. Yep. So in just a moment, I will begin. Alrighty, just another half a minute or so. Alrighty, so let us begin. And if you're watching this live, or maybe you're watching this later, so we are going to be talking about, in essence, this the Great Resignation. Well, and what's that mean to you, and how you can gain some insights. And so, what is the Great Resignation? Well, most of you have probably heard of it. We know that there's millions of people, at least throughout North America, who have over the last 2 years since the pandemic started, who have been leaving their jobs and going to, getting other jobs, or different, changing careers, or starting their own business. And so that's a pretty important decision. I think you would probably agree. And so what's causing this, do you think? Well, what are the main reasons why people, it's mostly employees really, are leaving their jobs? And so if you yeah, so what do you think? So you might be saying something, thinking something like, well, they're dissatisfied, or they're under recognized, or there's no opportunity for advancement, and so on. And so the statistics show, and the U.S. and Canada are different, but you could say that between the U.S. and Canada, between 63% and 78% of employees are feeling overworked and underpaid. Can anyone relate to that if you're an employee? And as you are joining us, please just enter in the chat, maybe just your first name and where you're from, and if you're an employee or an entrepreneur, that would be great. So 63 to 78% of employees are feeling overworked and underpaid, but also that they feel there's no opportunity for advancement. Like they kind of feel like there's a glass ceiling, like especially if you're in management, maybe you feel like there's a glass ceiling. And some of these employees are feeling disrespected, literally disrespected as a human in their workplace. That's kind of sad, actually. And if you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're feeling insecure or uncertain about your future. Maybe you also feel overworked and underpaid, and or you're wondering that have I really made the right choice in this business? Or maybe you're disengaged, you've lost your passion for that kind of work, and or maybe you are maybe you've just made a transition change in employment, or maybe you're seriously contemplating making a specific change in employment. And so yeah, these are important decisions that I think we can help you with, both here today and certainly in the longer term, as we share coming up our in mid-July our career calling challenge webinar series. There'll be tons of insights that we'll be getting from that as well. And so it's important. Ultimately, each of us, when we say calling, the premise is that each of us, there's a purpose or a calling upon our lives. That's why we exist. And I happen to believe, as a man of God, that God created everything with a specific purpose. That means you and I and everyone has a specific purpose, a calling here, why we're here. And we may not know what it is necessarily, but that's the premise. And many people know what it is, and they feel, and they're on it, and they feel totally inspired and fulfilled. So that would be the goal here, right? That you can discern if you're about to make a change or in the middle of a change, that you can discern your ideal calling and career. So you can make the best career choice going forward, and so you can be fulfilled and on purpose and have maximum impact, influence in the world. I think most of us would probably agree that the world needs a lot of help right now. And I'm believing that when we show up on purpose, we can have the greatest positive impact in the world, and even in our little community or center of influence, whatever that is for you. So that's kind of where we're going here with this. That if you are looking or feeling like you want to make a change, like I recall very clearly, I was in a contract sales role for a number of years. Things were going well. And one day I had what I call a moment of clarity. We should have more of those, right? Moments of clarity. And I just realized, like, it just struck me that, you know what? I was off purpose here. Like, this is not where I should be. And I need to change. I need to follow my heart. I need to be on purpose and have an impact that's going to be fulfilling to my calling that's on my heart. And so we want to give you some of those moments of clarity and some wisdom of the heart and some career wisdom as we go forward here. Especially during uncertain times in the world, it's critical that you increase your own certainty. The maximum uncertainty in the world, it's critical that you increase your certainty. And the best way to do that is to have more clarity of our calling. What do you think? What are some ways that we can get more clarity for having more certainty? What are your thoughts? Just put it in chat there if you would. That would be great. Thank you. And when I say clarity, it's kind of like the tip of the iceberg. You know, that in some ways the iceberg, we see what's on top, but we know that the mass and the power and the momentum is below the surface. And so the same idea is if you might be looking for a career change, then the power and the insight and the wisdom is underneath all the job search and find activity. It truly has to come down to your heart, I believe, where there's power in following your heart. There's power in clarity. So if you want to pick the right career change or so on, or anticipating that, then I believe one of the first steps you need to do is have clarity. What is that burden on your heart? What is that calling? What is your sole purpose towards? And there's lots of research that shows that people who are on purpose, who are on their calling, have a hugely successful life. Just in a couple key areas of our life, for sure. And I'm just gonna read off of just a couple of quick statistics here, because I found this amazing. I found this website, scienceofpurpose.org, and it was all these research done by all these like high quality research organizations that did specific research on on the power of purpose when someone is a purpose-driven individual, and when a company is purpose-driven. So for an individual, for their career, that they're more likely to be in leadership for sure and be successful in leadership. That a purpose-driven individual is like 4 times likely to be engaged in their work and fulfilled in their work, and 5 times more productive. That's massive. That's massive in terms of career, in terms of impact. Relationships, 54% more abundant and fulfilling relationships. That sounds really good. And a 31% greater increase in feelings of being in love. Yeah, well, we all as human beings want to feel loved. So purpose, right, fulfills many of these needs that we have. For health wise, better physical health, 32% less doctor's visits, stronger cells and DNA, 7+ years longer life. This is all covered in research. It's amazing. And mental emotional health, 42% greater contentment and reduction of fear and anxiety. This is huge, especially in a time of uncertainty. Get this one. 539% greater resiliency and grit, right? Like mental emotional strength is what we're talking about there. Um, yeah, so social impact in business. So for business driven organizations, um, it's interesting that 87% of global executives believe that companies perform best when their purpose is beyond just profit, right? It's a purpose-driven organization. They tend to be 30% more effective, more innovative, and clients will switch to their brand if they know that they have a specific purpose that's positive for the planet. And they're like 10% of compound annual growth rate compared to like 2.5% for those companies without purpose. So just a few stats from those who might enjoy some evidence of the power of purpose and calling. We're really talking about calling, and so I'd like to share with you that about some definitions about calling, and I thought this was rather interesting as I so calling and calling and vocation. So and there's a couple great models out there that we use in our longer term, getting on purpose, living on purpose training workshops. And there's a great model we use that talks about vocation. But vocation and calling are really synonyms. They come from the same Latin root word, vocare, which means to call. So it's a calling. It's something that you're meant to do, something specific in your life that God has designed you to do to accomplish certain tasks on earth with your unique talents and experiences and wiring and so on. And so yeah, and so let me define vocation here and calling. So knowing it comes from the same root word vocare, to call. So vocation. So a strong urge, an inclination towards a particular way of life or a certain kind of work or career based on feeling called. We'll come back to calling in a moment. It's like a strong inner impulse towards a particular way of life or course of action, or maybe largely influenced by convictions of divine influence. But you feel a vocation that you are ideally suited for a certain type of work or career. That's vocation, really. Calling is really so some of these are my words. It's really like a calling. It's a tugging, a pulling on your heart, your soul, your very being, in a specific direction. Maybe a deep concern for a specific cause. Maybe it's a homeless, maybe it's the health of the planet and decreasing carbon pollution, and global warming. maybe it's abducted kids or people who have illness or who are marginal, well, whatever that is, that it's your heart, right? It's your heart that pulls you towards that. Um, that Yeah, and I know for myself, if, I don't know how it happens, but that I feel in my heart a certain calling, a certain pulling me in a certain direction. I don't understand it, but I trust it. It's kind of like your intuition, right? Trusting your intuition, which is really a deep internal belief or guidance system. I believe it's connected to the source, to God, whatever language you might want to use for that. That is connected, and that in many ways that God places His calling upon your life in your heart, your spirit, your soul, even into your DNA, right? And so I've always found, I'm curious what your experience is, that when I follow my heart, it's ultimately always the best decision. Either I learn something amazing, rapid growth, or I have some amazing success, or that falling will take me to the next falling, which will be the greatest impact that I was designed to have. And so over the last 2 years of the pandemic, and certainly going forward full force, in addition to my full-time commitment, that I feel called to help hundreds of people discover their purpose, their calling, and to help them find the right career for that. And so, even over the last 2 years during the pandemic, when people were, kind of getting depressed or concerned or isolating themselves, because I had a purpose, I was like laser focused on that. I was drawn towards that. I was focused. I had great productivity. I was feeling incredible. I was feeling fulfilled. So I didn't even see a lot of sort of the challenges that all the media was, putting out there. And yes, they're true, and many people severely health or passing away from COVID and so on, or mental illness health because of all these things. And so my experience has been is that when you're on purpose, when you're on your calling, you're laser focused, and you can cut through a lot of that stuff that can be very distracting and damaging mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And so I would encourage you not to, even now with this talk about a recession, don't buy into all the media talk about a recession. You decide what you're going to create in your future going forward, and that'll have the greatest influence on your life when you decide what you're going to be doing, and not let the media or the recession word decide your future. You decide. You decide. And yeah, so the calling on my life is I have a deep desire for others to experience the peace and joy and love of God, who loves each one of us, through a personal relationship, and to help thousands of people, 1,000 people really discover their God-given purpose, to know it and to act upon it, and to serve this hurting world. So that's really, well, I'll just share just briefly my vision as well, which is certainly connected. And I've actually had this vision for probably at least a decade. I'm looking down upon the Earth from up in space, and I literally see in this vision a global movement and network of purpose-driven leaders who are in turn equipping 100,000 plus other people, inspired people, transforming they in turn who are acting on purpose, and helping to solve many of the world's problems and seeing 1 million transformed lives. So I mean, that's mine, right? You have your own, and maybe you haven't discovered it yet, and so we want to help you discover that actually. And it's everyone has it, as Viktor Frankl says that we all have a specific purpose that's unique. Viktor Frankl, right, was the German psychologist in a concentration camp during the Second World War, and he published the book Man's Search for Meaning. Man's Search for Meaning. Many of you probably know it, and there's some incredible truths in there. And the key is that there is a seed of greatness within you that's most alive when we're on focus, when we're on purpose, when we have clarity of our calling, and we're in the right career. So that's what we want to help you to do. And as such, in about 2 weeks' time, 2 weeks starting today, on July 11th, we'll be starting over lunch hour that entire week, Monday, July 11th to Friday, July 15th. A 5 day, we call it the Career Calling Challenge webinar series. Career Calling Challenge. It's totally complimentary. It's going to be value packed with some great content to give you insight, literally to save you time and frustration and money and trial and error by gaining more clarity of your career calling. And understanding how, getting how passion and mission and vision and purpose all connect to calling to give you that greater clarity more rapidly. And when you have that clarity of your calling, then you can decide on the most aligned and fulfilling work or career or even business for you. So it makes sense, right? You get clarity first on what you're called to do, and then you go ahead and do that. And lastly, and to kind of reinvent yourself, catch a fresh vision of your inspiring future. So that's what's in store as Rosa Lakaising and I, who do a lot of this purpose work, and she also has 15 years of exceptional experience in career placement. So we will be walking you through this, giving you maximum value. Because why? Because we want to help. We want to help individuals be on purpose so they can positively impact the world. That's why we are doing this. And so I'm inviting you to join us. I'm going to put in chat here. This is my first time doing this, so I'm just kind of learning the ropes here. Put in chat here the URL that you can register, take a look at, and register for this upcoming Career Calling Challenge, July 11th through to the 15th, over lunch hour, 12 to 1 Eastern time, on those days. So, yep. I think that worked. Yeah, so it's in the chat there. There's the URL that you can click on to learn more, to register. It is complimentary. I know you will get great value from this. So we're excited. We're excited. We're just looking to help people get clarity on their calling and on their career so they can be most on purpose, fulfilled, high performing, and have maximum positive impact in the world. So we're going to sign off here for now. Come and join us again on this Wednesday, the 29th, of June, and we'll cover another topic related to this in terms of career calling. And so look for the announcements. And so have a great day until Wednesday at 12 noon. See you then. Thank you. Bye-bye.